This is the Hamish and Andy Show podcast.
3, 2, 1.
I'm a pro DJ and I've been spinning the decks like mad, but I haven't had a chance to spin a yarn about
burning the People's Island.
At school, we've been learning a lot of pointless dribble. Finally, I get to learn about
Cure for Monday-itis, burn an island.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
The island's a witch. Burning the island.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you, back from the weekend, Ham, and excited because, yes, you heard correctly.
We burnt the People's Island.
I know
to a cinder.
I know that sounds terrible.
Not
but
to me.
It's yeah, I know, because you were there. But if everyone's prized possession, an island that we purchased on behalf of the people, and then we've burnt it. For instance, if
we just burnt the top.
If we'd got a house on behalf of the people, and
we
then
burnt the thatched roof.
Yes,
for regenerative purposes. Here's the thing we didn't know:
roof will grow back,
lusher than ever. We didn't understand after we finished Friday's show from the People's Island off the coast of Rockhampton. Everyone was having a great time. Then the caretaker at the next door neighbouring island says, "Listen, if you guys want to have some fun, flick a match at the island." We went, like, what is... We live in the city, Pete. That's not really a term that we legally use. He goes, oh, yeah, every year we have to backburn it to get rid of all the old dead grass.
Yeah.
There's no animals on there. There's nothing on there. We've got the permits. You burn it, then it regenerates. And we went, wow. Are you telling us that at sunset we can set this sucker alight? He said, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
So we did that.
We did.
And there was
again, the first fleet not renowned for burning the country they'd landed on.
And there were some hairy moments. We've got that to you by the end of the show. But, Ham, we did return from the People's Island as of the weekend. There was many things that happened just after the show, including a convict v. Captain swim-off.
Well, the convict that we took with us, Ando, he challenged you to a swimming race. Yeah. You gave him a head start.
Yes.
Was that foolish?
Yes.
Or was that the ultimate cool move as you caught him by the ankle?
Because we're still wanting to get...
Oh, no one knows what the result was.
Yeah. Who knows what it was? It was foolish. It's the happy hour.
After the show on the People's Island, you know, it was a situation where we needed health cover. Things got progressively more dangerous as the night wore on.
Turn a bit at Lord of the Flies. We should point out to everyone, and you should go to hamishandy.com. There are videos up there of your whole first fleet. These are the people, a perfect cross-section of the community that we took back to the People's Island to basically colonise it, inhabit it.
There's also a video there of the Name Registry, which if you've been listening to the show for a long time, we gave people the opportunity to register their name. Mm-hmm. Since everyone that listens to the show is an owner of the island, we said, look, we're going to read out your names. Got to about 5,000 names on the registry. Yeah. Obviously, we're lazy, so we got a computer to read them out. But we did sit there for an hour and a half listening to the computer read out the names, and the full boring video of that is also at hamishandy.com.
I'm not convinced all the names were real.
That's true. Yeah. There was a wonderful selection of fakies in there too. But everyone who registered did get a gig. Mm. And more importantly than that, though, after the show, there was a swimming race that was challenged.
Yes.
The convict that we took to the island on Friday.
He planned to make a run for it.
He called you out specifically, and he said, I think if I leapt off the island and swam back to the neighbouring island, I, the convict, could outswim the authorities, being Andy Lee.
Yeah.
You looked at him and he said, mate, you don't know what you're talking about. I once did a charity swim, what was it, 6 years ago now?
Yeah.
Where you were the slowest registered entrant.
No, let's not go into that story.
All I went off was the results in the paper, mate. That's how I remember it.
They printed a retraction.
I didn't read that.
Due to administration error, yes.
You're the slowest registered entrant.
I got beaten by an 82-year-old.
I thought he's picked the right guy to swim against here. He's gonna make it off the island.
Plenty of practice since then, Hab. But yes, I was.
And he's crushing 75-year-olds these days.
We were looking at the convict, Shannon, who he's not as svelte. Would you say, Hab?
I wouldn't say he's the fittest guy I'd ever seen.
No,
lovely bloke.
Yeah.
And wearing horizontal stripes too. He's wearing black and white stripes. And you were looking at him. We were both sizing him up. And Andy just sort of went, look, I think I've got this guy. I'll give him a 20 or 30 metre head start.
Yeah.
He can run into the water. I'll chase after him. We'll recreate one of the scenarios of that early settlers had, which was chasing convicts through the water.
Exactly. Well, if one went for a run for it, guess it was one of the soldiers manoeuvre to try and chase him down and get him.
Big time.
And that was my role, and this is how it went down.
All right, here we are. It's post the First Fleet show. We've all come. We've settled the island. The island's been colonised.
Yeah.
But the business of the island is far from over. Standing here with captain of the colony, Andy Lee. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
And a former convict, reformed convict of the colony, Shannon. How you going?
Pretty good.
A lot of people would remember in 1801, Paul Van Diemen, who was obviously the king of Van Diemen's Land at the time. Stan Jenkins, one of the famous convicts down there. Stan fled and tried to swim across Bass Strait. Paul chased after him and got him by the ankle.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we're really doing is recreating that famous Jenkins-Van Diemen race.
So, Shannon, I think it's fair that, say if I stand up here on the knoll and you run down, and as soon as you get the water, then that's when I can go. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, the other captain of the colony thinks that's fair. As the adjudicator of this race, then I'm going to jump in the boat and we'll track you guys.
Yeah.
Now, I say we're tracking you mostly for filming purposes for the website and to be able to record audio. 70% of me feels it will need to be there because I think you're going to get hit by the tide and you'll need rescuing.
Yeah, I did.
That tide it's honking, really. There's no other description for what that tide is doing.
All right, gentlemen, convict. Be you convict or be you captain of the colony?
Can I stipulate that he does a higher than usual knee lift on his run, so it's a bit like Benny Hill, and I will certainly shake my hand.
Yes, we'll make sure the footage is shown at 3 to 4 times the speed.
Welcome. We've returned back from the People's Island where we tried to colonise it over the weekend with the First Fleet last Friday's show. And it was towards the end of our show on the island where the convict stood up and he challenged myself, the captain, to a swimming race.
It's a bold move from a convict, but it happened a lot in the early days of settling Australia, where if a convict could race a figure of authority, they would win their freedom, particularly if they could swim Bass Strait.
Yes.
That was always a very handy manoeuvre to have up your sleeve. It's a tough strait to swim.
The equivalent of our Bass Strait was a small stretch of water, probably about 400 metres or so.
Something like that, yeah.
In between Marble Island, a neighbouring island, and the People's Island. We were nervous that there was a bit of a current running through that little section.
It looked like a tough swim, Ando. You generously given Shannon, who was regarded by all onlookers to be the least fit of the duo,
Yes.
You've given him about a 20 or 30 metre head start.
Correct.
And I believe we pick up the action as I'm in the boat. We're just maybe a couple of metres to the right of you guys.
Yep.
Keeping a very, very slow pace with the race.
We're about to run down a 30 metres stretch of just rocks, essentially, because our island doesn't have a
lot
nice
of hobbling.
beach
There was a lot of hobbling into the water.
before jumping into the water.
Good luck.
Down. Thanks.
All right, on the chase boat. We are moving off the island, getting ready to watch the convict versus captain race. Pete, you know nothing about this race. You've just been on the boat all day. Who do you reckon's going to win, Andy or Shannon?
I reckon Shannon's got a good chance.
I mean, I didn't want to say it to his face, but he's not the slimmest of convicts.
No, that's right. But sometimes those big buoyant people just keep going and going.
He's got a bloody big engine. He's all engine.
That's right.
All right, convict, ready! On your mark! Get set! Go, Shannon! Andy gave Shannon a generous 30-metre head start, which might have given Shannon a bit too much confidence. Shannon's backstroking. Shannon's backstroking to keep an eye on Andy. I think Shannon's got it doing backstroke. At some stage, I think Shannon's going to switch from backstroke to front stroke. What an amazing strategy. Andy is closing the gap now. It's probably only 20 metres between captain and convict, steaming through the water. He wants to catch that convict's ankle. Now Shannon's breaststroking. Go, Shannon! Oh, yeah, Shannon has stopped it. He's given Andy the bird, and he's now started freestyling again. Well, there you have it. If there was any doubt about Shannon's criminality before, he really proved his role as a convict by giving Andy the middle finger. Halfway through his swim to the mainland. We all loved it. Shannon, I can't see exactly his face because he's in the distance, but from his body language, he looks smug. He's doing side stroke. He's doing a safety stroke. He's picking an apple and putting it in the basket. Ando chugging along, but Shannon's getting so close to land now. Geez, if he blows it now, it'll be a real screw-up from him. He's on his back again, taunting Andy. Andy treading water. Andy, how you feeling?
I feel like I've lost this one.
Do you have a message for the convict?
Whispered to me as we took off that he had done a half marathon and then he ran away.
He now wades up onto the mainland. A free man! You've done it, Shannon! The beast! Well, Ando.
Yeah, as we later learned, that he was a national backstriker back in the day.
Yes, he was not doing backstroke so he could keep an eye on Andy. He was doing it because he'd won world, or at least Australian titles.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say it was a familiar stroke for him. He'd also played water polo at the top level. A real win for the bigger men.
I agree.
Not enough guys. You don't see enough guys with Shannon's physique at the Olympics, and we want to see more of it.
HamishAndy.com.
We're making it sound like he's overweight. He's not overweight. He doesn't look like Peter Van Den Hoogen.
If you want to see the whale beat the tuna.
I mean, you look at Eamon Sullivan. He's doing Bonds ads. I want to see Shannon doing Bonds ads.
HamishAndy.com. The video's up. Happy hour. Haim, time for another one of these. I mean, being a Monday.
We're running out of time, though, Ando, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Only probably got one more week left.
For you to close down shysters, swindlers.
I'm doing the best I can.
Embezzlers.
As I blow things
Prowlers?
wide open. Yeah, you know I'm against prowlers.
Okay.
Stop trying to... Don't ask me like that with high eyebrows, like I might not prosecute you and your gang.
Sure.
We're against prowling. We don't approve of
What
it.
about heisters?
We'd like you to stop. What if someone pulls a heist? Of course, that's a half-truth.
Safecrackers?
Usually part of a heist.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Safe...
Tax cheats?
Safe stackers.
Safe
Tax cheats, I'm going to leave up to the ATO.
Okay.
Because I'm sure I myself could be involved in that, but more than 5 years ago, so you can't get me now.
That's not the truth.
No, I was just kidding. Always pay your taxes.
Stand back! She's set to blow!
Look out!
Fire in the hole! Hamish is blowing this wide open! Amazing!
He's done it again.
Oh, what a great guy. All in good fun, ATO. Certainly no need to shine your truth eagle my way. I'd like to specifically put up an audit fence around any of my tax enclosure.
Well, they wouldn't. I mean, you're on your old truth eagle. You wouldn't want. They wouldn't want you shining it at them.
I'll shine it back at you. That's my threat to the ADO.
Yeah.
You audit me, I'll get on my Truth Eagle and I'll audit you.
Exactly. You'll hold a mirror up to their audit.
That should do it. If there's one thing that
they're
works
worried
with the
about,
government, it's aggressively trying to blackmail them. No, everything's in order. Everything's in order. No need for... My favourite bit is now that I think they're listening to the radio going, sorry, do we or don't we? No need to. Okay, we won't.
You don't need to.
Don't take down one of your own.
don't.
I'm the guy that gets on the Truth Eagle Lando, and I fly around looking for injustices and half-truths, and
I'm also fine, by the way,
try and blow it wide open.
No,
I can't say either way
No,
if I've got information to the contrary. I am willing to make a deal so that I may be overlooked. Definitely call me first. Deals and stitch-ups.
No, again, I am clean as whistle. Jack, on the other
Why
hand.
do you keep saying it? Ando, here's the thing. Because we've only got 2 more weeks of me blowing things wide open for the year, it's important to try. I've got to try and get to a few of the cases that I know people have submitted, and they might be wondering what's happening to them.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of fizzes of near detonation.
Okay.
So these are cases that I looked at, and I really don't have the time or the manpower to prosecute them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the realities of what I'm trying to do here. I'm one man. I'm understaffed. I can't get to every case. The first one, this comes in a lot, is the 2-cent roundup. When you pay cash for something that's 98 cents or $1.98, it gets rounded up. A company makes 2 cents off you.
Yep.
I don't have time to chase that up. That's...
What's that?
The fizz of near detonation.
All right, so fizzed out.
I'm putting the wick in water.
All right. Okay,
I don't have time to blow that
someone
wide
else has
open.
lit it and you're putting it out.
Yeah, I just don't have time to blow that wide open.
Cool.
And
Just wanted to know what the sound effect was
it's
representing.
the fizz of near detonation.
Okay, sure.
So for the FOND,
Okay.
for future reference. Second thing that I just cannot prosecute accurately, and it's a class action. I couldn't bring all the perpetrators to bear to cause, is just the cost of breakfasts in general.
Yeah, they're too expensive.
We know bacon and eggs, if you break it down to the unit price, is very expensive, but I don't know how much it costs to run a cafe.
No.
And, yes, they're making a profit, but I think that's what they're there for.
Yeah, but they are too expensive.
They're crazy. And extras. $5 for bacon. Could buy a pig for that. And a poor quality one. And, and there'd be running costs involved. But I'm saying. So, yeah, I get it. Breakfasts are very expensive, but I just can't go around prosecuting every breakfast place.
That's too expensive.
That's not selling me my bacon and eggs at wholesale prices.
Sure.
Who I can prosecute, Ando, is the following. This comes in from Justice Minister David from New Zealand.
Wow.
He's done a little bit of work over there. He works at a butcher. He works with a bunch of scoundrels, he says, that need to be blown wide open. So he still works there. This isn't an ex-workplace.
Wow.
He said, almost every pork product we have is on special permanently. He said pork mince, pork spare ribs, pork belly, and pork bones have all been on special for the whole year that I've worked there.
Wow.
Part 2. So that's the first bit that got my attention.
I
was
thought
like,
that might have been an explosion.
Okay, we start scraping away the layers here. So I wrote back to him and I said, I can't prosecute on this. Give me something else. And he said, okay, I'll dig around.
You've prosecuted on less.
and he wore a wire.
Wow.
We didn't get any sound off it, but it was nice to know that's the lengths he would go to. And he wrote back, so they also have regular sauce on the counter for when they sell pies and pasties. They've got a hot food section. And then they have sugar-free or light, reduced salt, reduced sugar, light sauce. When the light sauce runs out, they just fill it up with the regular stuff. Either of those facts by themselves, I probably wouldn't have detonated, but together, you've been blown wide open, butchers. You know who you are, because I don't. So I hope you do if you hear this.
The happy hour. We did return to the People's Island last Friday with a first fleet, a cross-section of the community that perfectly represented everyone involved in society.
And now, we had a bunch of different people on the fleet. We had the magical bagpiper, we had the cheerleaders, we had the fishermen, we had a psychology student, Ando, Nath. We had another psychology student. One of the cheerleaders was also a psychology student. We're like, geez, get a lot of psychology students on this show, because it reminded us we'd also previously talked to another psychology student on this show. We went, what's going on? How come we have so many different psychology students calling up and being part of this show? Well, the riddle was answered for us, Ando, when we realised that two of the psychology students we've interacted with on this show before are the same person.
We've been dadded.
We've been absolutely dudded and diddled. We took along psychology student Nath to the first fleet, the People's Island, not putting two and two together, that this was the same young man we'd had on the show earlier in the year and offered the very first ever Hamish and Andy scholarship to.
Let's take you back now.
Nath, this is how the scholarship works. If you average above 75, you will win from your friends Hamish and Andy, who are keen believers in higher education.
Yes.
You will win a gold-coloured watch from the happy hour.
No way.
Yes, Wade.
So we tried to entice him to work better, work harder. He would receive the coveted gold-coloured watch, Ham, if he in fact got a score above 75.
And I think it was, he sort of called us and he said, look, I'm distracted by my studies. I listened to the show. I think he was asking for a watch, and we said, obviously, you never get one if you ask for one, but we can make it an incentive for you. Now, we checked in with him, if my memory serves correctly, after his first semester.
Yeah.
He was not hitting the sweet 7.5 we needed him to be at.
Not at
we
all.
extended the scholarship. We said, all right, we'll make it, you get another chance. We'll make it about your second semester score. We then find out that the Nathan we took with us to the People's Island, the first fleet, on Friday, was the same guy that was meant to be studying for his psychology finals.
Nathan, he joins us now. Nathan,
Hey, guys.
shame on you, first up. Great time last week, though. I mean, well done. But
Did you have fun on the island?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, you should have been studying, Nathan.
When's your exams, Nath?
I had one today.
Yeah. So
I got one tomorrow.
So you were away, we were away for 2 or 3 nights in Rockhampton,
drinking beers,
mucking around on the island. I didn't see one textbook come out amongst the first fleet. Did you do any study while you were away?
There was a bit of study on the planes. Not much. So.
Now, obviously, Nath, because we all just spent days and days hanging out, there was many opportunities for you to go, oh, hey, guys, funny story. I'm actually the guy who you gave the scholarship to. Now, you obviously deliberately decided to hide that info.
Yeah, I thought it'd be easier on you guys. I know you stressed a lot about it.
Yeah, we did. And
but to be honest, it was a good psychological experiment on the island. I mean, did I get some study done? Well, probably, by analysing everyone there.
No. You can't have meeting people as one of the subjects.
Well, they've got brains, and within brains is psychology.
Nathan, how do you feel you went today in the exam?
Quite well, actually, but it was an open book, so I just got to take all my notes in with me.
Nathan, give us a percentage chance of you reaching your goal.
Percentage chance of me reaching my goal is probably sitting around 50% at the moment, so 50-50 chance based on all my subjects.
Yep.
Yep.
And so probably a triple A wasn't the right type of preparation.
Well, yeah, maybe not.
Okay, that's what we wanted.
I do love that you hid it from us because you were worried we wouldn't let you go. If we found out you were meant to be studying, like we were the captains of the first fleet, but also you strict, studious parents.
Well, Nathan, good luck. Let's hope you pull a rabbit out of the hat on this one, like some of the magicians.
Hopefully we're sending you the gold coloured watch, but you made the right choice because we can't take the island away from you. Thanks for being part of it.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Sorry, don't rush back to the books. Just make sure you go and meet some people at the pub. Is that study?
Probably. Today, Ham, was exciting to report that after the show finished, we went back to the People's Island on Friday's show. If you missed it, you can always podcast the show, hamishnetty.com. After that show completed, the caretaker of a neighbouring island said, it's time to burn your island.
Yeah, you guys can burn it if you want. And we went, will it hurt it? And he said, no, it's actually the right thing to do environmentally. Yeah. Had the permits, no animals on the island. It's twice a year, they do set the island on fire to regenerate the vegetation.
Yeah.
We just happened to be there at around about the right time. So we went, of course we're going to set fire to the island. What a wonderful treat for the island and ourselves.
We were excited about that.
Probably too excited.
Yep, I was probably Kirk Russell. You're probably William Baldwin if you're going to go off backdraft the film.
Yes, haven't seen it. And I think that would put me firmly in the majority of the listeners. Huge film in 1989. And I'll make sure I get the VHS out this weekend and have a look at it. But Ando, I mean, maybe the excitement took over. I don't know. Maybe cool heads were certainly required.
Yeah.
But with all the fire, I found it very difficult to cool my head down.
Cool heads while our hands were holding hot stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely a trick to it too, which, I mean, of course, we've never lit fires before, so we didn't really know what to do.
You kind of rushed off. Didn't care to take a microphone or even pause. Didn't just forgot that you were broadcasting.
Well, because Pete rushed off the guy to light it. I was like, I got to get in on the action. I want to be there when the first fire's lit. I don't want to turn up and have the island burnt.
So we pick up the excitement where we have.
You won't hear me. I was very difficult to get a handle.
All right, I've got my first bit of flame. I'm going off to a big grassy section over here. Here we go, and it is setting off. Like
what's this, mate?
A giant candle. Like a giant candle, Ham. It is absolutely setting ablaze. Look, it's just taking up.
Your paper hasn't done anything.
Well, Ham, I'm trying to record something. Is that all right?
Some of us are getting light fires. Pete, is this a normal side effect?
That burnt arm you have there.
Yeah. I think I learned a valuable lesson about how quickly the wind can get you. So the idea here is we're regenerating the island?
We are. We're doing a lot more good than harm.
And so, Pete, have we done enough? Will this now take over the whole thing?
Should do, as long as the nighttime moisture doesn't put it out.
Pete, I got to say, I'm astounded by how quickly it spreads.
My word. Yeah, it spreads like wildfire, actually.
Yeah, but I didn't really know what that meant till I was part of it, and so was my arm.
How many times a year are you doing this?
Once.
And you saved it for us?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, buddy.
It's not often that you colonise an island and then torch it immediately, is it?
No, it isn't.
Well, maybe, hey, we go around the other side, start a couple more.
I'm going to keep this line going.
And then retreat back to the mainland.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'll be fine.
All right.
Thanks, boys.
Let's remember to do a head count, guys.
I will.
All right, Haim. I'll try and send one across this way and meet in the middle.
It's up to the wind, but I like your enthusiasm.
Oh! This is the fun part. Yes, boy!
We've both got fairly scorched arms. Andy's learned the hard way.
I didn't learn from Hamish's mistakes earlier.
I just think I speak for all of us when I say I just had no idea this was a thing, that you can burn an island. But we are seeing the People's Island absolutely go up in flames. Whew.
There you go. HamishNanny.com.
It hasn't, I mean, don't worry, we haven't become pyromaniacs from it. We can't stress enough that it was a permanent thing to do, and it was obviously with the encouragement of the government. We're not going to nick off to Great Keppel Island and set that on fire or go across to Ireland, the country, and start burning it down. Although, under the right circumstances, certainly some fun to be had.
HamishNanny.com. The photos are all there. There's videos going up from our whole travels.
And I wonder if we include any of the photos of, post the sun setting, when we were meant to retreat back to the mainland of just running around with the tops off, becoming wild men.
No, we leave them off, I think.
We might pop one or two.
Thank you for being with us today. A nice
way... like we
way...
were doing a manhood retreat, like we're reconnecting with our fathers.
A nice way to complete the story of the People's Island. HamishNanny.com.
If you truly love it, burn it down.
We'll catch you tomorrow, everyone.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Hamish and Andy podcast. To contribute to the show, head to hamishandandy.com/topics.